Hello and welcome to our Monday workshop that we're going to be talking a little bit about the recruiting process and what it looks like. But first and foremost, I want to introduce myself. My name is Phillip Yarbrough. I'm the Director of Sales here at TrūAura. I want to say thank you so much for joining us today. First and foremost, because you're pouring into yourself, you're also investing in your business. You might be here today going, I've recruited a bunch and I'm looking for a little bit more energy into my business, or this could be your first foray into building a team and impacting other people's lives. That's what I love about recruiting and helping people build a business. What you're ultimately doing is you're helping others see the potential in themselves. You're adding value into their life as well as building your own business. What I want you to also realize is that as you start to build your business, your impact and your mission and your purpose and your cause all start to come together. So as we talk through today, I want you to understand and see that mission and cause and purpose that you have in your life. Understand the why you are doing what you are doing. And that whenever you can attach that mission and cause to a career, that's really where the precipice of change and the trajectory of your business will change. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you're able to get some, be equipped out of this workshop as we talk about what the recruiting process is. On Friday, if you didn't get a chance to join us on Friday, there's still a recording. There's a recording on YouTube as well as on Facebook that we've shared. And it is about prospecting list. And so what is that? So the first thing that we talked about was the recruiting process, and we talked about prospecting. So the prospecting list that we worked on Friday, and you can get more details on this. On Thursday, we did kind of a 30,000-foot view of the recruiting process, why you want to do it, so you can watch that as well on YouTube. But the first step was, and pillar of this process was prospecting. So you want to make your list of people. Make your list of people, and I had suggested that be about 25 people long. 10 people that have 10 slots that have names attached to it. 10 people that 10 that have characteristics and qualities that are attached. I got some of your list, and it was so great to see those over the weekend and to really see that you're absorbing and adopting what we're talking about. The next level of it is that characteristics and qualities that you're looking at for in your business. You'll do a SWOT analysis on who you are and what your personal business is. And what a SWOT analysis is very simple. It's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So SWOT. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So why does that come into recruiting? The reason it comes into recruiting is you want to know what you're good at so that you can find people that are opposite of you and also that will pour into you, where you have opportunities on your team. You also might be a team member here and you want your team to start recruiting. Well, you can't just hope that they do. You have to recruit them. Just follow this same process. Recruit somebody on your team that has the characteristics and qualities to become a leader. You might be that person for someone else watching this. Make your upline aware that you want to grow, that you want to carry TrūAura into the next level of growth, because that is a big part of multiplying ourselves. In the prospecting list that we talked about on Friday, we have 4 different archetypes that we talk about. The first one being the entrepreneur. The second, a burned out professional. The third, a power mom. The fourth is a second act, somebody who is retired from one of the top 3. They might be an empty nester now. They might have retired from a career that they're not enjoying. They might have moved on from a new opportunity as being an entrepreneur. And what I want you to understand, and we talked about on Friday, is don't determine the thirst of one, or don't determine the thirst of many based off the answer of one. What do I mean by that? One person might alter how you talk to the rest of the people. You are not in the conversion business. You are in the communication business. You are just called to share what you know, how it has impacted your own life. How has it impacted those around you? The impact, the mission, the cause. Not about the product, but about the business model. And whenever you look at that and you're able to share with people knowing that their answer doesn't mean that you don't continue to share. You're in the communication business, not the conversion business. You do not make the decision yes or no for them. Today we're going to be talking about the scouting and scripting process. And what that is really scripting out what you're going to say to each type of person. You want to be very intentional about how you reach out. We're going to talk about the 3 I's that you're going to create intrigue. You're going to share information. And then you're going to invite to the next step. Not everybody is driven by the same to a decision in the same way, and you shouldn't share or have the same approach for everyone. This isn't about a cookie cutter approach that what works for one will work for everyone. No, we are in a very customized business. This is not a numbers game anymore. That is an old way of looking at this business. This is a very intentional reaching out, customizing an approach to each person that you talk to. You will have a much higher success rate in talking to people, making it about them, understanding that they are special and so are you. The third pillar of the recruiting process is actually recruiting. Once you've scripted out what you're going to say, the 3 I's, you're going to talk to them. And all recruiting is the transfer of information in a compelling way in order to drive towards a decision. Whenever you look at that, it's a very simple thing and it's very quick, easy, but you're always sharing in the same way. It's just a transfer of information. You want to share it in this way. You want to talk about the why first. The golden circle, which is Simon Sinek. We'll talk about it a little later today. I'll talk about it in each pillar of what we do because it is important. The why we do what we do. The second is how we do that. The third is what we do, the product. Most people start with the what, then talk about the how, and then if they're still listening, which if the what does not trigger someone, they won't listen to the how. And if they don't like the how, then they won't listen to the why. So why would you start at the top and at the middle, at the heart of who we are, of making an impact? Because there's so many people out there. I talk to them constantly, whether it's in our industry or outside of our industry. They do not feel fulfilled in what they do on a daily basis. They want to make an impact. They want what you have. Share the secret. The final pillar of the business is the onboarding and engagement process. Understand what motivates them. Understand their golden circle, your new consultant. What motivates them? What does it look like at the finish line for them? What are their end goals for joining TrūAura? It's not the same as you. So don't put your expectations on them. Let them put their expectations on you and the company. What you can then do is walk it backwards. No different than like a marathon race. You don't go, I'm going to run 26 miles, and you go out and run 26 miles. No. You actually say, I'm going to run that. I need to be running this by the week before that, the week before that, the week before that, the week before that. You go all the way back to today, and now I know I need to go run 1 mile today in order so that I can run 2 miles next week, 4 miles the next, 8 miles the next, 16 miles the next, and so that you build on top of each other. It's no different than the age-old question of how do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time. But today we're going to talk about this simple second pillar. I say simple because I've worked through this a lot and I've done the homework and I've practiced. But it's the scouting and scripting, much like a college football coach does not show up at a high school football game and just go, I hope I see somebody that's good today. No, they start with the prospecting list. They understand the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of their team. They understand, hey, I already have 2 good quarterbacks on the team. I have a good starter and a backup. They're not going to go out and put a prioritized list together of a bunch of quarterbacks. No, they're going to say, well, we need to develop a running game or an offensive line to protect that quarterback. And so the strengths will help determine who to reach out to and how to reach out to them. Then in that process, you make your list. A college football coach will make a list of players that he wants to go see. The scouting process is, hey, where are those games? Where do I put myself in a situation to see these people, the characteristics and qualities that I'm looking for, or to find these people that are already on my list so that I can actually have a target-rich environment where I'll see the right people or I'll see the people that I want to see. So they'll go to a game, and then after the game, they'll sit down with that player and they'll say, what an amazing qualities and characteristics that you have. You'll fit in perfect to our team. This is how I foresee you working with us. We have weaknesses here. You have strengths. You are going to make us better. What does everybody want to hear? What I have will make someone else better. The value, I will add value to someone. So you want to do the same thing as a college football coach. You want to let somebody know that they're going to add value to your team. That's why you have put them on the prospecting list and what you want to say to them. So on Friday, we talked about developing your prospect list. And so with that prospect list, you're going to have 10 names on the list. Then 10 characteristics and qualities that you will look for in people. And then we talked about 5 social influencers. This isn't for everyone, but if you're on Instagram, Facebook, different social media platforms, you can search bloggers, you can search high-level influencers or micro-influencers that would be in that 5,000 to 10,000 follower range. You reach out to them with a compliment. You do it the same way. You build into their narcissistic thinking and behavior. It's not a bad thing of saying someone's narcissist. They're just focused on themselves and their business. It's not a self-contained and selfish way. Narcissism in moderation can be a good thing. And so you're playing into that human emotion. So, but what I want you to understand today and on Friday and tomorrow and any time that I'm sharing with you, I am sharing with the basic thing in mind. That adults learn 3 different ways, and I have learned this business in these 3 ways. Through observation, through making mistakes, and through teaching. The first and foremost is I have observed people like yourself that do extremely well in this business, making anywhere from $25,000 to $100,000 a month, not a year, a month. And I have observed what they do on a consistent basis, that they have committed to a behavior without seeing the results. They believe in that behavior so much. I've observed them. They believe it so much in whatever behavior that they are consistently doing, they don't need to see the results to continue doing it. It's like working out. You don't go work out for 8 hours in one day and then go, I don't see the results, so it must not work. No, you believe in the behavior and you say, I'm going to do it 10 minutes a day until 10 minutes isn't enough. And so you end up working out 30 minutes a day. You work out 30 minutes a day knowing that in 1 month, you'll see the results. You believe in the behavior enough to keep it going. You don't have to see the results immediately. And so you watch the best of the best and you absorb a way to do it. The second one is making mistakes. You want to utilize trial and error. After you have absorbed the first one, you've watched others do it, or you've absorbed information to be able to do it yourself, you then utilize trial and error, understanding that making mistakes means growth. Making mistakes means growth. I'll take it back to the working out concept. If whenever you're working out, if you're not sore the next day, that means your muscles haven't torn down in order to build back up. So do you want to grow in your business? You need to tear those muscles down. You need to make mistakes. You need to learn from them. I would challenge you that if you aren't making mistakes and going, I can't believe I did that, then your business isn't growing. You're not challenging yourself. So what I would ask you to do is, are you out there doing trial and error and refining your message as you grow your business? The last one is really what the recruiting process is, and it's about teaching. Once you have to start teaching this to someone, you commit it to memory. I would tell you, if you want to sell more in your TrūAura business, go recruit. If you want to sell more in your TrūAura business, go recruit. Why is that? Because if you have to teach what you do on a daily basis, you become more efficient. If you become more efficient in in your daily actions and behaviors, you will sell more because it'll be more committed to memory. You'll trial and error. You'll commit it to memory through teaching. The trial and error comes in, and then all of a sudden, now you've got people watching you. And when you have people watching you, you want to make sure you're doing it well, and you're holding yourself accountable because you have eyeballs on you. It's really what it is. So whenever we talked about this, I want you to reach out to, if you started this on Friday, great. If not, I want you to reach out to 10 people in the next 10 days. Commit to it. I want you to reach out utilizing, like what Mark Twain says over here, a good compliment. I want you to compliment 10 people in 10 days. That's it. Don't talk about TrūAura. Just the initial dialogue is create a dialogue through a compliment. What does that look like? What does that mean? Well, first and foremost, Mark Twain over here says a good compliment can last 2 months. It can make you feel good. How do you feel when somebody else compliments you on a quality or characteristic that maybe you've been working on developing? It's a great feeling. So you want to make them feel, you want them to feel something. And so how do you do that? First and foremost, you want to utilize some of the characteristics and traits that are over here on the right side. But whenever you compliment somebody, it tears down walls. It tears down those walls. It starts to build that person up. It edifies them. And they have an affirmation of the characteristics and qualities that somebody sees in them. Make them feel special. Make them feel special. Maya Angelou says people will forget what you say, forget what you do, but they will never forget how you make them feel. Create a feeling within them. Some of these over here are the characteristics and traits that you're going to want to utilize. Adventurous, energetic, excited, fearless, funny, gentle, darling, courageous, kind. There's some negative ones on here too. Lazy, evil, rude, rowdy. It just shows you the different levels of characteristics that are out there and that are available and see every day. Clever, cheerful. Let's see another really good one that I like. Grateful. Oh, what a great quality to see in someone. Someone who is grateful. If somebody told you, wow, you're so grateful, thank you for that. How would that make you feel? What it would do is you would definitely respond to them if you're reaching out on social media. And in this time of, I guess, uncertainty, you're not seeing people face to face, belly to belly every day. So what I would ask you to do is, as you're scrolling, look for those characteristics and qualities that you see in somebody. Send them a direct message, not a comment or something like that. A direct message that says, I noticed this characteristic or quality within you, and it starts the dialogue. Understand that preparation is key in everything that you're doing. A wonderful quote by Mike Krzyzewski up here, who is a wonderful basketball coach for the Duke Blue Devils for the last 35 to 40 years, won more national championships than anyone. The season favors the prepared. The season favors the prepared. You are in a season right now. Next month, you will be in a new season, or maybe tomorrow. You can look at each day as a season. But the season favors the prepared. Have you made your list? If you haven't made your list, then go back and make your list. Once you make your list, then put a script and scouting plan together. But don't put a script and scouting plan together until you've made your list. Follow the process. So now, what do you do with all this? It's the 3 I's. It's a method that I've developed, and it's 2, 10, 20, 2 seconds to create intrigue. So you tear down the walls with a compliment. You utilize that compliment to create a dialogue. Then you create intrigue within 2 seconds. A quick 1-line intrigue about what you do. Then you want to spend 10 seconds, or maybe 3 to 4 sentences if it's in a message or something, transfer of information. You're just telling them why you do what you do, how you do what you do, and what you do. Follow the golden circle. Pretty simple. So you create intrigue. Then you share information utilizing the golden circle of why, how, what. Then you invite to the next step. That next step, especially this month, will be the Thursday calls that we're doing. And it's called the True Solutions calls. Every Thursday this month, we'll be sharing with prospects to this TrūAura business why we do what we do, how we do it, and what we do. And invite them along to join the family of TrūAura. So what does a compliment do? First and foremost, a compliment grants you permission. It gives you permission to share. And so you create a dialogue with that wonderful compliment we talked about earlier. And then that focuses it on your audience. Your audience is maybe one person, maybe two people, maybe multiple people. But what it does, it focuses the attention on them. Then you want to pivot it back and get them to know your why. Why do you do what you do? You want to play a game almost and get them to ask, what do you do? So how do you do that? You have to create intrigue. And with that compliment, you can create intrigue and get them to say, and you simply respond to people like you are really good at what I do. Wow, what do you do? The second that you get, what do you do? You have gained permission to share. Do not share until you have permission. People won't listen to you. Once you get, what do you do? Be ready. Share simply why, how, what. So what is your why? For me, it's about impact, mission, and purpose. People want to feel a purpose every day. I get the opportunity to impact lives and add value to families all over the country. What greater purpose is that? To add value to people's lives. And so whenever you do the transfer of information, you want to get straight to the point. You want to have 3, maybe 4 sentences that is a transfer of information in a compelling way in order to drive towards a decision. And so 3 or 4, you don't want to share everything with them and just completely dump on them all the information that there is. You just want 3 or 4. You're creating even more curiosity. You're taking them on a journey. And so you want to get to the point, but you want to tell how we do what we do and then start. I want you to really understand this, is state it with confidence and pride. You work in an industry that you should be very proud of. There's a lot of people out there that look negatively on this industry, but I want you to understand this right now, that there's more companies out there trying to figure out what we do than us trying to figure out what they do. The traditional retail model is not one that is of growth right now. It is a retraction. One of the largest companies in the world, Amazon, is a direct selling business. They have eliminated the brick and mortar in between, and they connect a wholesaler with the customer. It's a direct sales company. People believe in what we're doing, and they're trying to create a customized shopping experience for their people, for their customers. Be proud of the industry you're in because you are making an impact and making a difference. You also want to invite. So whenever you look at this and you're inviting somebody along the journey, let me share it with you this way. If you're married, or many of you have been on a date before, and if you haven't, let me tell you, from this perspective, on the male's perspective, you can create curiosity and leave someone wanting more. Make them want to have a second date. You don't want to share all the information with them. You want them to have to go search it out a little bit. You want them to wonder. You want to create that curiosity and want the next step. But a great way to do that is through an invitation, inviting them along of saying, hey, this was a great conversation, and these characteristics and qualities that I see in you you would be great at this. Would you mind jumping on a call this Thursday at 7 o'clock? If not, then we have a recording of it and I can send it to you. And then maybe we could have a conversation after that. Because people like you are really good at what I do. And I would think that your skill set, you would be able to monetize it in a way and make an impact in other people's lives. So you want to take one of these characteristics that you pull off of this page, or maybe in your own mind, you take that characteristics and I want you to drop it into a line something like this. When you posted that the other day, and the reason I say posted because we're not having that face-to-face, belly-to-belly contact with people, hugging people and all that. Most of the interaction that we have with people is on social media or through a technology-based system. When you posted that the other day, it really got me thinking. What that does, it touches into the heart of someone saying, hey, you made an impact in my life. Man, what a great feeling that is to have somebody say that. And say, I truly appreciate your willingness to be vulnerable in that situation or whatever it might be, and your spirit of blank. That's where you drop in the compliment. What it does, it starts a dialogue. And they come back and say, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, that meant so much to me that my kids, this, whatever it might be. Be genuine in your compliment, but create that dialogue. Second, this is how you follow it up, how you get that intrigue, how you get them to say, what do you do? You say, the reason I noticed is people like you are really good at what I do. People like you are really good at what I do. What's the natural response to that? What do you do? All right, wonderful. So what do you do? What does that do? It triggers your 3 eyes. Create intrigue. Okay, how can you do that? I'm in the bacterial removal business. I'm just having fun with it there. But what it does, it doesn't say anything of what we do. It creates intrigue, though, of somebody to go, what do you mean by that? Now they're actually listening. Have you ever been in that situation where you've met someone and one of the first questions that you ask is, oh, what do you do? 5 minutes later, they ask you, what do I do? And you couldn't tell them for anything. Why? Because they didn't create curiosity to make you lean in and listen. I'm in the bacterial removal business says nothing, but it makes somebody listen. It creates some curiosity. Another one is I create a safe environment for your skin. All right, doesn't really say what I do, but it makes you ask, well, what does that mean? And so you're wanting to trigger those 3 eyes, the 3 eyes that you have. And we'll make this screen available for you. And so I know it's a little bit smaller writing, but you'll be able to see that in hand. Whenever we look at that recruiting process, and that's a pretty simple way to script out and scout someone. So you make your list of people, and then you put together a plan to reach out to them. The season favors the prepared. Do you have a prepared spirit to be able to reach out to those people or whenever they reach out to you? Because right now there's people that need the solution that you have. Share the secret in a way that creates curiosity and helps people to understand that you have solutions. Tomorrow, I want you to join me at noon. We're going to be doing another workshop, 30, 40-minute workshop, and it's going to be about recruiting. A transfer of information in a compelling way in order to drive towards a decision. How do you share in a concise, direct way that creates curiosity and makes them want to show up to the invite you're going to give them? We'll talk about the golden circle of the why, the how, the what you share. The why we do what we do at TrūAura, how we do what we do, and then finally what we do. I'll be hanging out here in isolation. Yes, hanging out. That's actually in Bali where I was doing a little rappelling off of a waterfall. Lots of fun. I love adventure like I shared on Thursday with you. Go check out that call. You'll see a few more pictures of that. But here at the bottom is the really important information. It's my email, Phillip Yarbrough, P-H-I-L-L, 2 L's, Yarbrough, no dot, no space, no anything, Y-A-R-B-R-O-U-G-H at TrūAuraBeauty.com. Also, you can text or call to this number. It is my personal cell phone. I want to hear from you. It is 214-908-3221. I look forward to hearing from you. Why? Because one of my biggest things that I love doing is helping people take their next step. Martin Luther King once said that you don't have to see the whole staircase, just the next step. And I love to identify that next step for people, help overcome barriers to be able to take that step forward, creation of momentum, and then help them realize that it's just a consistent behaviors that will get them to the next level. And then that's when you find your next staircase and your next, and then you start to follow this journey along. So reach out to me. I'd love to touch base with you. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow on the next workshop, learning how to recruit and that transfer of information. Thank you for your time today, and we'll talk to you later.